Okay, so my Deshaun Watson, I don't know if you know who that is, but he is.
That's a person who just was offered a whole lot of money,
This is
right?
correct,
With this
correct.
huge contract, although he has a bunch of lawsuits against him. Is that guy?
Yes, and I was going to, yes. So
Okay, no, I don't know the specifics, but I heard all about him.
Okay, so he's a former
They're wondering why they would offer him that money like that.
You know
okay,
what?
So
the former quarterback Houston Texans has signed a guaranteed contract with the Cleveland Browns for $230 million for over 5 years. This is the most guaranteed money for any football player in NFL history by $80 million. Aaron Rodgers, more than Patrick Mahomes. So, and he's not thought to be as good as them, but that's a whole story.
Yes. As good as them to somebody.
Well, you know how the market is. You know, once one person gets a contract, they set the market, and then somebody else comes along, they have to continue on. That's how it is.
But why did they have to up it by 80 million?
Don't know. Listen, on March 11th,
how many more years did they put on that?
5.
Okay, so 5 is standard, right?
5 is standard, yeah, 4 or 5, but 5 is standard. On March 11th, a grand jury decided to forego criminal charges against him. However, there are 22 civil suits alleging sexual abuse that still remain. He could miss some games next season. People who've had, sexual misconduct or sexual abuse or, even rape charges against them have missed like 6 games, like Ben Roethlisberger. Ezekiel Elliott, they missed 6 games because of
Okay, honey, come on with the question. What's your question?
Okay,
I know what
okay, Ma. So what does that say about the NFL? What does that say about the NFL? Just go ahead.
Okay, all right. I'm just gonna put one thing out here. It shows a blatant disregard, I would say, if I'm not going too far, kind of shows a blatant disregard for women. Yeah. I'm assuming that these lawsuits are all from women.
They are.
Because to me, it would be the same if they were brought by men, but they happen to all be brought by women.
Right.
And so I would say that, and it shows some level of disrespect for the law, but money doesn't respect the law. We've already established that in this country. When you got a lot of money, there is a disrespect for law because your money makes you above the law.
You have different laws.
When you and above most of them. So I don't know really what the question is, because and I know that under quote unquote normal circumstances, that would never happen. But because he is of such value to somebody, even if he isn't the best, he's got to be valuable to somebody to come up with that kind of money. Because if some team, the team that offered him that money, if he wasn't valuable to them, they would have never given him the money. If he was playing like a dog, he might not be the best, but he's performing good on some level, because if he was performing as a dog, they wouldn't care. They would feed him to the wolves. He's doing good for some team. Without me knowing the logistics, he may not be the best, but he's working for what they need, and for what's being offered, and for what's out there.
Listen, Ma, he's very talented. It just is really, really strange that they would give this man this amount of guaranteed money when he hasn't proven a lot. He hasn't won a championship.
But you know what? But they've been doing that of late. They've been awarding these big contracts, not necessarily in football, but they've been making all this hoopla, maybe in tennis or this or that, and making a big thing out of these.
That's not tennis that does that. That's endorsements. This is money.
I got you. This is directly from NFL. I got you. Directly within the league. Well, sweetie, the sentiment is still the same. And the principle is still the same. They don't care. They feel like they're above the law. And, in sports, if you're an excellent sportsman, you're like a god. And so it just is on and on and on. And it's just a perversion of what our principles are supposed to be about.
Mhm.
Okay. Because like you said, not only has he not earned anything, if in fact these lawsuits are successful and these lawsuits move forward, won't he be distracted to the point that he can't even play well? I mean, that's just a basic and very obvious principle that he would be somehow entangled with all these lawsuits. But I don't know if they're thinking they're going to pay him off. Are they thinking the lawsuits won't move forward? I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. But there is somehow a blatant disregard for the lawsuits and the women who have brought the lawsuits. That part is clear. So,
what I think is, obviously this was just, they just disregarded women. They didn't, they pretend to care about women, but with their actions,
I didn't know they pretended to care. That's news to me. Well, good. I'm glad you told me that. I didn't know that.
Well, they try to say, oh, well, we have this position,
Not say actions. I have not seen the actions where
they have a female referee. They have a couple of
the numbers are minuscule in terms of our power as consumers.
Mm-hmm. How much
the number is minuscule.
Well, for me, it hits me a little bit harder because I really enjoy football, and I'm like, and I'm torn. I really am torn on so many different levels because I always liked Deshaun Watson, but when I found out all these things, like when there's smoke, something, there has to be some type of fire, and so I don't think this is
what smoke. What smoke, Pay? The NFL says what smoke?
Well, yeah,
they didn't see or smell any smoke.
They didn't see
all those lawsuits. That's no smoke.
Well, I hope
it's a damn forest fire. It's a raging fire, but somehow, boom, I guess they Smokey the Bear. They putting out those fires.
I guess. I hope it. Listen, okay. I hope that the women will be taken care of. I hope everything will be okay, and whether that's through therapy.
And Deshaun, are you just a big goofy target, or are you doing something to those women? You can have, like T.I. says, you can have whatever you like. So, I mean, what's the problem? Are you trying to rough it? I mean, you can have whatever you like. You got the money. You got the juice downtown, the money, the power, everything. What are you doing to these women?
And he's not a bad-looking guy.
They want you to do.
And he's not a bad-looking guy. I don't know. I don't
know what he's doing to him that they don't want him to do. Because you can get somebody to do whatever you want him to do. So what's the problem?
As long as they're willing. That's right.
I said you can get somebody to do. I don't mean by force. I mean by consent. So I don't know what's wrong, Deshaun. I don't even understand that.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.